you were saying that you wanted to talk about awareness of Thai massage specifically, or
yeah, awareness. It's about people being aware in the community. The Austin area, or wherever, wherever people are, to be aware of fairly simple ways that they can improve their lives. They can improve their feeling in their bodies. Feel better about being in their bodies, and things like that. Like they can take advantage of things that will work for them.
Yeah.
To accomplish good things with not any great difficulty or necessarily even some giant commitment, but things that can really help them. Yeah. So no, I think sometimes people are, and I fall prey to this too sometimes, where you think you have to do something 110%, like you have to go do all to get any benefit, and so you procrastinate or you hold back because you think, well, I can't really get benefit. So like the thing with Thai massage or yoga, or like yoga for me is like sometimes, I hear people go, well, yeah, I really need to get into it, and I really need to get this high-priced subscription, or whatever, membership at this yoga place, and I need to do this, and I do that, and I got to do it every day. And starting January 1st, my New Year's resolution, and the thing is, those are all good intentions, and that's all great. But what really makes a difference are the little things. And it's a cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's like you can, I tell people a little bit of yoga is actually really good. And there's some risk that, people will be like, well, you really have to do it all the way to do it right. Well, okay, there's some risk if you do a little bit here and a little bit there. But I think for most people, that risk is relatively small, and as long as they push themselves, but they're patient about it, and they don't push too hard, you get a lot of benefit from not being 100%. That's the ideal, but how often do
100% meaning
how often do we reach that ideal?
gung-ho?
Yeah, going completely gung-ho, like, this January 1st, my New Year's resolution is I'm going to tear it up, and I'm going to turn over a totally new leaf, and I'm gonna get 2 massages a month, and I'm gonna do yoga, 5 days a week. It's like, okay, but what if you just did 10 minutes of yoga that was really high quality?
Yeah.
And what if you did a Thai massage once a month that you prepared for, you relaxed beforehand, you got a therapist that you really liked, that you felt like that they really spoke to your needs and did good work. That is worth more. You get more return on your investment. It's like working out. When you work out, well, if you just work out once every blue moon, you're not going to get a whole lot of benefit. But you don't have to work out every single day for 4 hours a day to get results. If you're a professional athlete or bodybuilder or whatever, yogi, to do certain things, you have to be committed, and you have to spend a good chunk of time. It's got to be on a regular basis. But you get a lot of benefit from just regular small interactions with awareness and with clearing away distractions and awareness, and really paying attention to those things. You get amazing results, and sometimes more results than if you stack it too thick.
Yeah.
In my experience.
I think most people don't understand how their yoga practice can be 15 minutes a day. I feel like they have a mental construct where yoga is an hour or an hour and a half, and it's an official class where a teacher leads you through. But when I teach yoga classes, what I'm really trying to do is teach students poses so that they can do it on their own.
Right.
Which means, you go through the class, I say, hey, put your knee here, put your hip there, lengthen your spine, breathe this way, breathe through your nose. But once you've picked up what we're doing internally, you can take your favorite poses and just make a 10-minute routine.
Right.
Even if it's just 3 or 4 poses and some breathing.
Sure.
But most people don't have enough of a feeling for what that is to be able to accommodate a 10 or 15 minute practice. People talk to me and they think I practice constantly. And
Right.
that's just absolutely not the case.
Right.
And when I say that, that means I don't take out my mat, even though I have my own studio right here.
Right.
I don't take out my mat every day
Yeah.
and do an hour.
Yeah.
Now, that would be a great goal, but my busy life and schedule and various other things means I don't do that currently.
Yeah.
But to be able to get the most out of a 10-minute practice, it's good to have some regular classes
Sure.
and some focus
Right.
for a certain amount of time. So, for instance, with yoga poses, there are certain things you could do that you could injure yourself if you're not careful.
Right.
So it's good to have an instructor who can lead you through and show you
Definitely.
how to do things where you wouldn't hurt your knee or
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. No. I agree with that. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's the same thing as people who say, to me, it's like I'm going to eat healthy. And they go from eating McDonald's and fast food every day to saying, I'm going to be a raw vegan.
Right.
There's no like transition at all. It's just like feast or famine. And for me, it's just
Right.
a little more balanced. It's the same thing with massage, although with Thai massage or any kind of body work, the difference is that you and I, being massage therapists, will do the work for them, which for some people fits into their sort of crazy, hectic lives. But one of the reasons I've gotten into Thai massage so specifically was because Thai massage felt like I was doing yoga on my day off. Like I could get you to work on me, and I'm still stretching and breathing, and I'm being mobilized. There's some of the same benefits, but I don't have to do anything. I get to relax and just let somebody else do it for me. It
Right.
doesn't replace a yoga practice, but I think it exponentially increases what you can get out of either.
Right.
Or. So in other words, regular Thai massage kind of feeds into your yoga practice in the way that your yoga practice feeds into your Thai massage. Most people, 10 or 15 minutes. Totally simple. They just have to have enough of a background to be able to understand how to do that. That would be like, I mean, if you lifted weights, what would you do for 10 or 15 minutes?
Yeah.
I think most weightlifters would say you could do something.
Yeah. You're gonna do something that's gonna be like overall like total body type things, larger movements. You're not gonna you want something that's gonna get a lot of benefit for relatively small amount of effort or something like that. Well, no, that's interesting that you said that because we had a client at middle school the other day that said, who did yoga regularly, and she was like, should I get Thai massage before my yoga sessions or after? Well, she's seasoned enough, she's into it. She probably does it 3, maybe 4, I don't know, 5 days a week. I don't know what she does. Who knows? At least a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And you were like, how about your day off? So that makes sense. Like get passive yoga.
Yeah.
Get passive yoga when you're not doing active yoga. That makes a lot of sense. But no, my best results as far as yoga goes is when I was in an environment where I felt setting up your environment is important. For some people it's no big deal. They're used to doing yoga wherever. And but like where I lived like a year ago, it was just a really nice environment. I had set up an environment where I could do yoga usually for an hour a day. And probably like 2 or 3 times a week I would do an hour of yoga, really dedicated. And then if I had time, I would do another hour. And the other hour was going through the same thing again, but like almost trancing out. Like I was a little fatigued from the first hour that I really pushed myself. But then I could kind of get a little more refined and get a little more really sinking into things and kind of specializing certain things that I needed, like wanted to do to kind of hone in on certain things. And I learned more during that time than years. Just in a few months, I learned more about myself and that kind of thing as far as yoga goes. pose.
Yeah.
And so it's different for different people. But I mean, I just wanted to kind of dispel that myth of the all or nothing kind of myth.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's definite benefits to spending 2 hours on yoga a day, getting a membership somewhere, getting a qualified instructor that knows their stuff, and can really teach you and correct you if you have questions, and really I'm not putting that down at all. But what I'm saying is just that this idea that you have to do it completely and become total fanatic, or nothing, and there's nothing in between, is a myth. It's a total, and it's a what's the word? Like it's an easy snare. It's a snare in the mind. Like it's something that I think it's a trap. You know, that people think like, well, next year, why don't you just if you learn a cool pose that speaks to you. So a purist would say, no, you got to learn all these poses because they have to balance each other out. Okay, there's value in that, but it's a partial truth. The thing is, if child's pose makes you feel better and makes you chill out, if you can do it for 5 minutes, then do it. You know, so it's that kind of thing. But
Cookie cutter, and I see this as various kinds of yoga practice where Ashtanga and Bikram come to mind because there's a standardized sequence.
Okay.
And the various mindsets within the yoga community seem to go like this. You make the student fit the practice in Ashtanga and Bikram. You're taking the standardized sequence and you make the person's body fit this formula, what you're supposed to do, into this mold. I, in my own teaching, tend to be the opposite. I make the practice fit the student. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with either or, because my teaching practice is totally different than my practice of Bikram yoga that I do personally.
Right.
And it informs what I do with students, but that's not the kind of yoga I teach, and that's not the kind of yoga I really want to teach. And I think part of the reason is because I cut my teeth teaching in nursing homes, where I worked with a 90-year-old lady who there's no way.
You have to.
She would die
if we put her through a Bikram yoga class.
So I did yoga in a chair, and I was never actually trained to do yoga sitting in a chair, but I knew enough about basic stretches and breathing to be able to approximate what I could do in a normal class on a mat without danger of them falling over.
Right.
And I'd rather them get some rather than nothing.
Sure.
Like, I wouldn't want to go, well, you're 90, you can't do yoga. Like, go away. No. Like, they can do yoga, they just can't do the same yoga I can do at 36 years old.
Right.
So, the cookie cutter formula also applies to, soccer moms, housewives, guys who work construction, businessmen who sit at desks all day and take phone calls. The kind of yoga that fits into your lifestyle and that you can maintain for 10 minutes a day is what's going to make the most difference over the course of your lifetime. But most people just don't have a construct for what yoga is.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, I honestly think that if I say yoga, they think, oh, there's some sort of weird prayer to Hindu gods, or...
Right.
I'm like, no. Like, my version of what yoga is, hatha yoga, the physical yoga, is you stretch and breathe. You basically work on posture and you work on your breathing. And when you work on your posture and work on your breathing, everything else in your life gets better because you feel better. Right. You're more focused, you're more aware, you're not stressed, you're not as tense, your back doesn't hurt as much. And from there, from those physical benefits, everything else pours out because it means that I'm able to be a better partner to my wife. I'm able to be a better cook because I can taste and go through the process unstressed of preparing food, just on and on.
More
like
present.
It tends to multiply in the same way that I would think people who get body work and massage regularly, in my experience, are more relaxed.
Yeah.
They're more calm generally. It's the thing that happens when clients come in and get a session, and then they leave, and they don't care if they get stuck in traffic.
Right, because they're they've gotten to that level where not a whole lot is going to upset it too much.
Yeah.
And if you can keep that, but that's the thing, that's the ripple effect.
Yeah.
It's like, if you can get, this is what I tell people, like most people get massage as a luxury, or they think of it as a luxury. And they're like, I had a hard couple of days, or my week was hard, or my month was hard, or whatever, and I'm going to treat myself, and I'm going to get a massage, and I want to feel like rubber, and I want to feel like Gumby Jello.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. I mean, there's no problem with that. But what I try to educate my clients is to say, even though there's nothing wrong with that, that's what you're aware of. But what you're not necessarily consciously aware of is if you can lower your stress levels, which means this could be quantifiable. It could be cortisol levels, or it could be, you could get this down to science, but foregoing that, if you could get your stress level to come down 5%, 2%, that has ramifications that you're not even aware of. You don't need it to go down 90%. That'd be nice. It ain't going to happen for most people. But if you can get it to go down 2 to 5%, think of exponentially what can happen for your health and your well-being and your happiness and your peace and your family and your friends and your coworkers, and how much more energy you can have and calmness and that kind of thing just by this little bit. And it's so what the effect you get that day is great, or that weekend is great. I'm nothing against that, but what is it doing if you get it regularly? How much you're really gaining that you're not even aware of. We only live one life. I mean, in the sense that at one time, as far as we know, we're only living one life. Metaphysically, maybe we have other lives before and after, but we only live one life, so we only know really by compare and contrast of different times in our life what choices we make work for us better in a given situation, and what choices don't work as well for us in those given situations. And so we're not aware of some of this, but that's the thing. It's like, if it makes sense to your logical mind that, wow, if I feel better that day, then maybe that's doing things to you the rest of the days that you're not consciously aware of. If you maintain that to a certain degree, if you maintain that within balance, you can really do that. No, people can't afford a massage every day. Probably most people don't need a massage every day. Unless
there's a point of diminishing returns. That's what I found through